The deal should require municipalities permit 15% more home building per year. If they beat the target, they should get a bonus. If they miss the target, they should get a penalty. Small municipalities should be exempt from the penalties but eligible for the bonuses.
Okay, that's part of Pierre Poilievre's speech yesterday to, I guess, a small group of reporters out at the parking lot around Fairview. But the interesting part of this is he seemed to basically take aim at Pointe-Claire, and that's where he was to make that announcement, and suggesting that they, the borough, the city of Pointe-Claire, should be doing a better job as far as housing goes. And of course, he's pointing next to an area there that he thinks should be developed. Tim Thomas is the mayor of Pointe-Claire. Tim, thanks for being here this afternoon.
My pleasure, Aaron. Thanks for having me.
Did you feel he was taking a shot directly at you?
How could I not? I mean, he's standing in the middle of Cadillac Fairview's parking lot, suggesting cities are blocking development. Yes, I felt it was a personal shot.
And I'm wondering, so look, he has people out there making coming up with ideas like this. Hey, this is a great spot. Let's do it here because this was in the news a while ago. Someone forgot to do their homework and point out that the reason you are the mayor of Pointe-Claire is because this is exactly what you ran on.
Precisely. And not to mention that if his plan was implemented, they'd owe us an awful lot of money because we've developed far more rapidly than any other municipality in the West Island and most of Canada. So it was, I thought, a kind of an interesting moment in a variety of ways. But yes, I was elected to, in fact, slow down rampant development and try to curtail it and have some human-scale civilized development in Pointe-Claire. That's really the election campaign.
Which makes you wonder if that's the case. And yes, everyone talks about the availability of housing, how more is necessary. But to your point, from what you said, you've already done more in your community, even though you want to have these restrictions in place and not just necessarily go unbridled construction everywhere. How are you going to deal with a government if someone like Pierre Poilievre becomes prime minister?
Well, deal with reason and politeness and point out the fact that we've been really responsible and developed incredibly over the last decade and a half. We've done really well. And perhaps if he's giving incentives, he should probably remunerate us for what we've already done and anything to come in the future. I mean, it might be good for us. Who knows?
Yeah, as if that's going to happen.
Yeah, correct.
So, well, let's talk about this now because I'm sure there are plenty of Poilievre supporters out there who probably heard this yesterday and are thinking, this is a great idea. Why aren't we building more up here? That doesn't change anything for you out there, does it?
It doesn't change much for me. I mean, I think the important stat in the whole thing is that we had the single highest rental increase in the country last year, despite our responsible building and supposedly increasing supply. Our rents grew 3 times the national average, faster than any of Canada's biggest cities. We also beat the fastest growing suburbs in the country like Brampton, Mississauga, Richmond, North Vancouver. We beat all of those in rental increase. So we have a real crisis in affordability, which is the real issue here. It's not just housing, but sure, you can build all the housing in the world, but people will still have nowhere to live because they're so unaffordable.
Right. How do you, I mean, in hearing you say this, and we already know that rents are up, how do you deal with a problem like that? I mean, is there a solution to something like that? And can a government be responsible for, I don't know, enabling it?
Even in the municipal level, I think we can, Aaron. I think we can diminish the size of the houses we build so resales aren't as expensive. We can do the missing middle. We can do duplexes, triplexes. We can do semi-detached, which doesn't exist very much out here in Pointe-Claire. There are lots of tricks to make things more affordable, even within the municipality, and we haven't explored them nearly enough yet.
Do you think there's support out there for that kind of an idea or those kinds of ideas?
I think so. I mean, I got a good percentage of the vote the last time, and I think it's only getting stronger, so here's hoping.
So let me ask you this then. So this is your policy. You got elected, and people agree with your ideas, but it seems there's more and more pressure all the time to just keep building. As I said, here's someone running for for prime minister, the highest office in the land, who's basically out there saying the way to deal with this is to build, 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 and doesn't seem to be taking a whole lot more beyond that into account. Where does that lead us?
Well, we have to get them on the straight and narrow as to what's feasible in a municipality. I mean, we have to build things that fit our community. The built environment, Aaron, influences how people live. And human scale influences how people live. And to make neighborhoods and communities where people like each other, your buildings really matter. What you build influences how people interact. And we have to pay attention to that as much as just banging up, glass and steel every which way and not caring for the quality of communities we build. And that they really have to get their heads around that one and focus, because we want to enjoy living in Canada. We don't just want to have a lot of housing. We want to have housing that makes us feel good.
All right. I think that's well said. Tim, I thank you so much for your time. Way to stand up for yourself. By the way, has he called you to apologize yet?
No, he hasn't, Aaron. No, but thank you very much for that. And I want to thank my friend Tom Mulcair for weighing in the way he did the other day, too, on your station. It was great.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people, as you said, a lot of people out there support what you're doing. There is a better way to do this than just build, build, build. And it's nice to see someone leading the cause and not backing away from this because of what's going on around, at least politically. So good for you. Congrats.
Bless your heart for that, Aaron.
Take care, Tim.
Thanks so much.
You bet. Tim Thomas, Mayor of Pointe-Claire, where yesterday Pierre Poilievre was out there just build. You got to give you more money to build. Not paying much attention to what's really going on, at least not in that particular place.